In today's podcast episode, we're going to talk about why you need to tell customers no and how that's going to help you grow your Detailing business. This is a Detailing Business Class podcast. And welcome back to another podcast episode. We are doing another business talk where me and Cesar from Symphony Advertising just sit down and talk about business. Again, the main purpose of this kind of episode here is big. Me and Cesar always just talk about business in general, so we might as well just turn on the camera and have a conversation on video, and then this becomes a podcast. Like, the exact same stuff we talk about right here is exactly what we talk about off camera, off podcast. So it just makes sense to kind of create an episode out of what we do. So Cesar, just real quick, what do you have going on with Symphony? Any new updates?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Sorry.
There's some updates.
I was told not to scream at the microphone. That's the first thing I do. With Symphony Advertising, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
I would just give a recap. What a quick 30-second.
Just getting busier.
But what is Symphony Advertising for those that don't know?
Sorry. So I'm really trying to work on this message. We build websites and marketing campaigns. That's our product. But our value is we help businesses get more customers with the website and marketing. Because I've noticed people don't know what I do. Like, I just see you posting screenshots and I see you do something with websites.
Like friends and stuff? Or
friends?
Everyone?
Everybody who knows me, they're like, I know you do stuff. And half the people don't even know I have my own business. They're like, you have your own business?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like, I guess it's not clear. So I'm working on that.
Yeah, actually thinking about that though, it's like, even on the detail group, like on Instagram, YouTube, like I'll tell people like, hey, like I'll plug it in the podcast on the video on the YouTube video. I'll be like, hey, by the way, like if you guys want to check out my podcast, and in the comments or like on the YouTube podcast version, they'll be like, I don't know you had this, and it's like I talk about it all the time. Yeah. Like I mentioned, and people still don't know. So it's like,
actually, to piggyback on that, when people ask me like that they want their car detailed, they still think, a lot of people still think you're like just you driving myself, out. Yeah, just I guess why
rightfully
would people be updated about your life?
Yeah.
But yeah, like if we don't update people with like what we're doing, whether it's a business or personally, like people don't know.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, because like even like few people that have reached out in the past, they still reach out to me personally. And like a lot of people, like, because it happens not so many times, but people kind of get it now. Like, instead of like, even with like Gian, like instead of him reaching out to me or like his like anyone like his family member or friend or whatever, they reach out to the business phone and they go through there now, just because they kind of like they understand like this is like it's more than just me now.
Yeah.
And so like now like I don't book anyone, like any friends, like I don't book them myself. Like they go through like, just because like it's just too much. I can't just throw someone in a schedule anymore. Like everyone's like, there's like a process for everything now. So yeah, leading on to the main thing of today is like why you should start telling your customers no.
Ooh.
And I think everyone is gonna go through that phase of where you'll take on any work because you want the work, you're just getting started, you want the money, you want the experience, you want the reviews, the wisdom, everything that comes along with just getting a customer in the early phases. But then at some point, when it happens one too many times, you're like, man, working with this type of customer sucks, And it's great to hear from you, because you'll be able to hear it. I can talk about the detailing side of things, right, obviously, but then you can talk about you getting clients and clients that you don't want to work with and the ones that you do want to work with. But then your customer or your clients also tell you what their ideal, clients and non-clients are. So starting, kicking off the main question here, what for you, for Symphony Advertising, what is your dream ideal client customer, the one where you're like, my boy, like that's the one I want to work with? Is it the money part, the vision part, the execution part, the team part, that they actually work and collaborate? Like, what is like, man, like this is a five out of 5 client here.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you 2 answers. One is gonna be unreasonable, like, of course,
but that's your dream client, so sure. Yeah, go for
you said dream client, so like I'm trying not to put limits
right
on my head. So like my absolute, I'm gonna give you a dream one and a reasonable one. That's good.
True. Yeah, that's true.
So my dream one would be Barcelona, Real Madrid, even the Rockets, even the Dynamo, bro. Hey, Cesar, we want to sell more tickets. Can you help manage $100,000 budget per month to achieve that goal? We want a whole strategy. We want a whole roundabout. We want a new website. That's gonna be more than 100.
Yeah, and quick side tangent though. Like, I don't think so. Dynamo is the Houston MLS club. Yeah, that's our local.
That's about as low as we can go.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I don't know if
They have
They even
100,000.
have a budget of 100,000
Yeah.
a month.
Right.
No, it's just like funny.
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah,
like
you're right.
we're not a big market. It's just funny. Like I
Yeah,
don't think they
they
have
probably-
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm not saying that, but it's funny. Like
Right.
I don't think that number's at that level.
So yeah, let's keep it super extreme low. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like any big team, any big artist. Actually, artists are weird, but like for ticket sales, just like anything huge, that'd be really sick. Like the person we work with. But okay, enough dream stuff. Reasonably perfect client has been in business for 10 years, right? They're experienced. They know what they want. They know their pricing. They know their customer, and they just go, Cesar, we just need somebody to help us get more of this thing. Here's $10,000 a month. Usually, like perfect, good clients are like, how much is it? Great, here you go. There's like no haggling. Like they understand the value that they get out of it. And in our current situation, it's like local business. Honestly, it's easier if it's in Houston. It just is. Ideally, they're in Houston. They're a local business, and we can kind of just go through the steps. Like there's nothing new we have to learn. We understand how it works. That's really my ideal customer because we can fly through those. You know, 3 week setup, new website, new ad campaign, new branding, new domain. Like we can get it up and going, running, no problem. But you know, when you get this person, but they want to keep it on Wix. You get this person, then you know, they don't know what they want to offer yet. That'd be my ideal client as of right now.
Okay, yeah. So and then let me answer that question now too, so we can have the same. So our ideal client customer. Well, customer. We don't call them clients. We call them customers. For us is definitely, and I think most of our customers fit within this bracket, which is great. That one for sure. Like, yeah, it's funny because it's gonna be the same thing for everyone. They know what they want. They're not gonna haggle on price, and they want it done now. You know, like it's gonna be the same thing across the board for everyone. To where like the vehicle that we have in the shop right now, it's a 2017 IS250. It's gonna be $1,200-$1,300. Again, like the guy filled out a form or called us. Lex talked to him. He came in person for an inspection, a TSA, what we call it, a test spot assessment. We do a spot. We give him options. He paid the deposit. No haggling. No worries. We booked it like a week and a half ago. He confirmed his appointment. He showed up at 8:50, turned the vehicle, Uber back. We're gonna have it till the end of tomorrow. And it's like, and I want to say most of our customers are like that. But that's the ideal customer. Like a dream one. No, I mean that's like if every customer was like that, and most of our customers are like that. Like thankfully, like you know, building the business and knowing what you want. Like that's how most of our customers actually turn out to be. So that's our most ideal ones, which is again like most of them actually turn out to be.
Yeah. Do you think it's because the pricing kind of has that embedded into the customer?
Yeah. Well, that's.
I feel like because it's priced not cheap or not. Yeah, it's not cheap. I would say it like people who would be that way would be like, nah, I'm not gonna go with them.
That definitely helps, but then at the same time, though, it's also like a whole collective effort of what you're doing for your business, right? Like, because like we've still had some customers that are, you know, that are still a bit more like, hey, can you do a bit more here? Like, because I am paying the higher price, like, can you do a bit here? Can you do a bit here? So that the price, although it does detour like 90% of those like customers that would give you that kind of experience. Like the thing I say about SEO all the time is like it. Search engine optimization. Like it's never like one thing that you do that like blows up your website and it gets you on the first page. It's like a collective effort of all the things that you optimize on your website that gets you on the first page of Google. And it's the same. I'm trying to formulate that to how do I say that about business? Like it's never just one thing that gets you in that position. It's a collective effort of all things that you do between online and offline, between marketing, customer experience, customer service.
You have a mobile thing. You have the truck. You have a good staff.
Yeah, like it's good reviews. It's everything.
You have the products. You have the equipment.
That when that one person reaches out, they're like, I know what kind of value they have, and I know it's not going to be cheap. You know.
Yeah, even when they ask questions and stuff, like when you can answer the questions and say, well, I don't know. Once you come in, we can take a look at it. We can give you an estimate. Like versus like you know, you're not sure. Yeah, you sound like
and even with that one, like we had another vehicle could just come in the other day. It was a SUV as a Yukon, I think, or Escalade. I don't know.
Yukon.
But we initially quoted him $5,000 for everything, and then he went to go get some few other quotes somewhere else at other shops. He let us know, hey, I found someone else. I'm gonna go with them. We said, okay, it's fine. And then like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, he comes back to us and he's like, hey, like, is there any way that we can drop the price from $5,000 to something else? And we were like, yeah, like kind of Lex and him talked about back and forth, and we ended up on not doing the glass, not doing the front bumper, not doing the wheels, and we dropped the price down. Well, not dropped the price down, but we just were
Remove
able
some
to remove
services.
stuff to get it down to $2,000. But even with that one, like the guy, came to us. We quoted him correctly or high relative to what other people would quote. He went found someone cheaper and then still came back to us and he was like, "Hey, it's okay. Like I still want to work with you guys, but can we?" So even that, like, although they didn't just pay the top, the 5,000.
There's a reason,
which is still
for the
expensive. Don't
pricing.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's like they still like, oh, okay, yes, I'm still gonna go with them. And yeah, like the results, like we delivered, tenfold on what he wanted.
Nice.
So kind of going to the next part of that though is like, what are some red flags do you see when you shouldn't work with a client? When you're like, they say something, you're like, dang, I can already tell this is not it.
So I will say I always have a healthy amount of red flag clients. I at least I have a category. I have 2 slots like that are there for bad clients or red flag clients, let's call it. Like I know, like you feel it in your gut. Like you're talking to this person, you're like, I really shouldn't be doing this. Like in your head, right? Like I know I shouldn't be working. I just closed a client for that. I'm working on a website, dude. We closed this website in November of 2021. I was in that room. I was like, these dudes are never gonna move forward, like with good timing.
Yeah.
They wanted to meet yesterday for the same exact meeting and then what sucks too is like once you take somebody's money, right? It's like your problem. You absorb their problems.
Yeah.
So like, what can I do? I mean, I could give it back, but we're like deep in it. And then how much do I give back? Like I've been working on stuff. I don't know what I'm looking stuff up and providing research and doing like these little things. It's for a website.
But was it just like just kind of updating everything, like whole theme, new?
It's a new site. It's a great. They're a good business. Like they are well known. They dominate their little area. But it's like,
what were they lacking as far as like they're just like poor at communication, or like they're so busy that they can't get to it, or they're
it's both. They're so busy that they can't get to it, and the person that's in charge is also super busy, so they can never. And the biggest problem is they don't know what they're doing. They provide like all these different services, and I mean, it's like 3 businesses in one, so they can't even really articulate how to break down the business.
Yeah,
they don't know. They can't even really give me like home about services. They can't give me a navigation menu because they're like, well, I mean, you can call it this, but it's actually that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a red flag client. But anyways, so I always have a couple red flag clients, and it always doesn't work out. They either take too much time. It's impossible that one they have like 50,000 products.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know how much that should be? That's a ridiculously expensive site that we did for like basically pennies.
Yeah.
And now I'm her tech support or the client's tech support because I was like, look, we can't do it. I've literally spent more money on labor trying to get this done. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I tried really hard. It should have been this much money, but we wanted the reps. I'll be honest. I knew it was a bad idea, but I was like, okay, let me try it. Like, maybe we can figure this out.
And that is a fine line to go to walk on between like, well, I will learn a lot for sure doing this. So it's like even with Lex, I'm like, run like 100%. We're gonna underquote this, like without a shadow of a doubt. We're gonna underquote this, but at least like this will be our baseline now. So like we gotta like, there's no other we're gonna learn. Like we have to do this. Like let's do it because we have to learn how to do this. So like one example for me doing that, we're like, then we want the reps. We're like. For the longest, we told customers, no, we don't do smoke odor removal because we didn't. But after so many times, we're like, okay, we keep on getting asked about like, let's actually do it. So we went to go get trained. And then the first customer that like actually inquired about that, we I forgot what we charged, but we didn't know if it was high, low, whatever. Like, bro, just throw like $400. Like, let's see. And then we go through the whole reps, we do everything. And then moving forward now, like our base, like our starting price for smoke odor removal is like $600. But again, it's like it's that rep is like, well, we got to do it somehow. Like we have to learn in some fashion that we have to just price it, bro. Like just throw it out there.
It's like no is not always the right answer, even though you know it's wrong. Because like for us, when we got a bunch of like we tried different,
unless it's like the same problem over and over. Yeah.
Yes, but like you can't learn sometimes without like that. Like you need the experience. But you should be able to get out of it, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, don't get stuck in there too long. Like, it's kind of
don't be
get in there for however long, 1, 2, and then like get out. But like, and even with that, like the times that we've had bad customers, like it's more so like back then. Like I proudly say like we don't really have like bad customers. Like we don't have any that we're fighting or haggling. Like for us, if someone like a red flag for us, like if they start haggling on price, and there's a fine line between like. They're haggling and like they don't see the value in what you do, and they're just like they're curious about it. They've never gotten like a premium service, so they have questions, and they're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
So
Like
there's
respectable.
there's a fine line between that, and but like if you just feel like same thing you said, like you can feel it in your gut, like this is not the right customer, we won't take them on anymore. Like we will not do it. Like no matter if they say like, "Hey." One thing is like, hey, can I get it done? Can I get it done tomorrow? Right? Let's say, and it's like, and we'll be like, hey, like, we're already booked out. Our next schedule is like, 2 weeks from now, and they'll be like, oh, come on, man, I'll pay you extra. But they have that tone of like, I'm throwing cash at you, so work for me. It's like, nah, man, we're just not. I'm sorry, we're booked out. Versus if someone's like, hey, look, I know it's last minute. Like, I know this is like the last, like, I'm sure your schedule's already booked out. I seen your reviews, like, bro, I'm leaving on Monday. And I need this done by tomorrow. Like, could you fit me in whatever way? And I'll be happy to pay. If they have that tone, it's like, like we will try to work you in because not that we absolutely need the money or whatever, but it's like you feel for the customer and you want to do right by them.
At that
so like,
point, you're helping the customer versus being like pushed to do something fast.
And you're helping them more so than just a detail, right? Because now, and that goes back to like understanding what, like for us, like what is a problem that you're solving? It's like, so yes, we're detailers, we detail cars, but it's like with that kind of customer, it's like, he's thinking far beyond the detail itself.
Right.
He's saying like, bro, like I have to leave out of town Monday and I want to get to like wherever with a clean car so they don't feel like filthy one foot or whatever. So I want it done tomorrow. So it's like, they're not so much thinking like, hey, I really want a detailer to come like, as like, I need a clean car to take my family.
Right.
But they don't, whatever. So it's like, you really have to see like, what is the problem that you're solving? And even with that, like with those, like when they are like that, we're like, don't worry about it. Like we're not even gonna charge you extra for it. We just like, I feel for you. I understand. Like I see where you're coming from. You're very polite. Very like, of course, like we'll if we can, like we'll just drop it, whatever. So, but red flags for sure. Like back then, for sure, it's like, and you feel it too. Like they have that tone in the phone call, and you're like, this is gonna be a bad one.
Yeah, I literally had that yesterday. So we closed the website client, and we have a timeline of 4 to 6 weeks. That's our standard time, and it's about to be 3 weeks, and they're asking for a website preview, and I'm like, hey, we're still working on it. I'll send it when it's updated. They followed up again, hey, and they said this is where the big red flag came in, right? They're like, hey, can we have a website preview? My boss gets impatient, so we'd like to see something ASAP.
Yeah.
So like right there, I was like,
like,
I'm just gonna refund you the money because what you're asking for is like, I said I said I understood, but just to keep you updated, like we did say it's a 4 to 6 week process, and we don't want to rush a website preview if it's gonna be sloppy and if it's not gonna be to our standard, She didn't reply to that, but that is like, whoa, like what is that? Like, I don't want to work with that.
Yeah,
heck no, get me out of that. Like,
and I remember this is years ago now. Same thing where like it's like when like it's someone's contacting someone for someone. So there's like several jumps into the person that was actually like who's actually wanted that detail, but they were I forgot, but anyways, we talked to the guy. We got to the drive to their home. We started working, and then like someone else came out, and that person, I think it was like, I don't know, whatever, uncle, dad, whatever. But they're like, hey, like, are you gonna get that? Are you gonna get that? Are you gonna get that? And we kind of explained like, oh no, like they're paying us for this, for whatever service. And they're like, what, for that, for that much? You're not gonna do that? And then like he was out there always like kind of around us, like kind of like nitpicking everything. And after an hour, I was like, just stop. We're not gonna do this. Like, we're not gonna set pay. We're just gonna leave right now. We're like, put everything back. Like, clean up whatever you're finishing, just to not like leave it half-assed. But finish cleaning, we're just gonna leave. That's it. And we're gonna text the guy like, hey man, we just left because like we couldn't. And that's it. Like, I'm not gonna put up with that. Like, I'm just not.
Yeah.
I would 100% refund. No, we've never refunded someone though. But like, we just won't do the work now. Like, and again, it's always a fine line because. Like we once had a customer that was a little upset that we missed some spots. And
wait, but that guy didn't pay yet, did he?
No.
Right. So you didn't refund them because
yeah.
It's not like you took their money and left.
Yeah, no.
They never paid.
Yeah, because we always accept our payment after the detail. Okay. Like it's one of those like experience like, hey, once you're happy, whatever. But that's also another reason why because like yes, you get paid first, but like what if I don't want to do the job? Like what if we get there and it's like I don't want to do this, or also if we get rained out or whatever reason, we can't do it that day. Back to what you said, like I'm not obligated to handle this. Like I have to, like, okay, like how do we reschedule? And then if they want it pronto because they already paid, it's like whatever. Whereas like if you just wait afterwards, it's like
you can't lose. Yeah, like what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
you never paid me.
So it's also like an easy cop out if needed, and that's also another thing that I do. like if there's a customer, and not if it's a bad customer, so to speak, where like they're rude or anything, but more so if the job itself just isn't coming out good, where like we said like maybe we thought we were gonna be able to like get the interior looking better or the paint looking, whatever the case may be, right? But it's like, man, we're doing all this work and like, bro, it just is not coming out good. Like this, I'm not happy with this. We just lower the price.
Right.
That's all we do. Like that's like a savior to everything too. Is like, hey, what's not like? Let's say we're gonna charge 400 for whatever, right? And it's like, oh, dude, like we're doing all this. It's not really looking that good. It's like, bro, let's just finish it up, or not even finish it up. If we're gonna do like level 3 service and it's not coming out good, let's do level 1.5 service. Call it there. Charge half the price because we didn't do everything. Whatever. We still did the job, but like not to what it was supposed to be. Because that's so fair. Like.
And it's realistic.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we didn't do everything.
It's not like you didn't try.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's just you're just matching the level of work that you're doing to the price for the customer. So it's like it's still like 1,000% fair and right for the customer. But that's just like another way that that we kind of manage a not ideal situation, so to speak, not an ideal customer. So here's another question. I think you already touched on it, but I'll ask you again. Do you have a story of working with a bad customer, and then how did you let them go?
Okay, so
even though we actually just touched on that,
I mentioned a couple. I've only had one refund that I had to do, and God, it was awful. It was like we don't do that. So like we literally do websites and Google Ads like 97% of our stuff. We do some Facebook, some social, and this person wanted Facebook ads specifically with a website that was absolute garbage, and it was like, hey, we really shouldn't run these ads because it's not gonna do much. Also, I don't think these ads are gonna work. Like I said everything up front. Like I cancel clients all the time. Like I tell them like, hey, we ran Facebook ads for 3 months and you got one call and it was like a referral. It wasn't anything. Like I'm letting you know you probably shouldn't keep spending your money. Like that's what we do. I told this guy that and he wanted to run it anyway. Never provided what the ad was, never provided a landing page, never provided when to start. And then it turned into like, we'll talk to this guy and then talk to that guy and talk to this. And we want a graphic for this. We want a graphic to that. And, dude, and then like he called me like every week trying to get his money back, even though we ran the ads and even though we did, what their ideal was. And I was like, this is crazy. Like we did the service. We did what what their concept was, and now you want the money back? It was the worst experience. And I was like, so part of me is like, no, right? Like we did the work. If I give you a hamburger and you give me, $5, like you ate the hamburger, like I understand you didn't like it, but okay, that's a bad approach. That's easy, $5. Let's say the hamburger was like $200, whatever. I still give it back. But anyways, the point is like, dude, we did the work. Like you can't just come over here boss people around like. Oh, and I told him, I was like, what did I say? If you didn't want to do it, why did you pay us the money? Like, I told you this would happen. Awful experience, dude. I still think about that guy sometimes when I'm just like laying down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I hate that. It was the worst experience. So like, I didn't want to give him the money back because I saw that as like an L. But the real L is like having this like
negative
feeling that he's gonna call today. I know he is, and he's gonna complain. He's gonna try to convince him to give his money back. And so at some point I was just like, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah,
it never was worth it. It was like a minimal, like a tiny amount. I was like, dude, just take it back.
Yeah, and it's more so like the principle of like, bro, like you can't just
dude, like you can't just
go through all this, do this, and then just ask for like have it all your way. Because I remember, probably our worst one in recent time, which wasn't really a customer, but anyways, like he was like super nitpicky. Like every time he's like, well, can you do for 100? But we do all this, like just always want like trying to get a deal and like haggling and whatever. And because like he drove like 40 minutes, we're like, okay, we'll like quickly do the interior, and it was like quick, like it was nothing crazy. But then like we're like, nah, man, like we can't do like for everything you're asking, like we just can't do it. And then when he left, he kept on calling us like, hey man, come on, man, like I'll turn around right now, like how about if we do this for 250 then? And we're like, no, man, sorry. And then we hung up, and then he calls back again like 5 minutes later. He's like, come on, man, like I drove, and he started getting a little assertive. And I was like, hey, bro, like I really don't feel comfortable talking to you right now. You sound very assertive, and I don't want to do business with you anymore. And he was just like, okay, well, I'm sorry. And I was like, bro, like you're not gonna like try to bully me on that. Like you're not, especially when you get like that. Like you're not gonna.
It's hostile. It's like I don't want that.
Yeah, it's like, bro,
it's weird.
This is it just no. Or actually, another one is we had a customer. It was the wife, super friendly, cool. But her husband had sent her to us to get the job done, and the husband was like, I don't know what he expected. Like it was just like we did all the communication part, but like in his head, like just something went over him, and we were like, bro, like this is on the emails. Like we specifically told. Anyways, the customer was like had like a little bit of attitude. He's like, well, I was expecting this and expecting that, and we're like, no, we told you on the phone, like this is not like whatever. And like you could tell the wife too, she was like, I don't know, like I'm sorry, like that. You talk to him, like she gives us the phone, like he talked to him. So it's, with someone like that, like because I you could see like the wife doesn't want to go through it either. Like she's like, no. Like I'm sorry, like this is whatever. And again, like it wasn't like a crazy service or anything, but I was like, okay, look, sir, what do you think is the right price to pay? And I was like, I don't want to feel like we were like ripping you off or anything. So what price would you like to pay? Well, okay, let me see. Well, how about 260? I was like, that's absolutely fine, sir. We'll charge you 260, and that's it. Like I think it was gonna be like 340, 360 or something. I just asked him like whatever price you would have said. I'd be like, all right, bro. Because like
you want to diffuse it. It's not worth
exactly. Yeah. And again, it wasn't like a super crazy service or anything like that. Like it wasn't like we did like a 2-day correction coding whatever. So it was a pretty like it was a, like half a day like thing. But like seeing like that the wife didn't like also was like whatever. I was like, I feel bad for her. Like if we like, how's she gonna get beat when she gets home or something? So I was like, how much would you pay, sir? He's like, and I'm just making a number for like 260. I was like, oh, that's absolutely fine, sir. Well, we'll go ahead and charge you that. Sorry for the confusion. So it's like as much as I could have been like, we told you this, like whatever. It's like I'm not like it costs more to try to put up that fight.
Yeah.
Versus like understandable. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for the miscommunication. Hey, if there's anything else that we can do for you, just let us know. Have a great day. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So it's
and then leave.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
one
just
thing.
like
get me out of here.
Yeah.
So it depends. But I would say these are all far and few between. Like we kind of started getting deeper into like this happened, that happened. But like if this was every situation, I'd be out of here.
Yeah,
I would not be doing this.
Yeah, like all the ones I just said, like they're months, they're
years.
Yeah, they're not like back to back at all by any stretch of the imagination. Like most customers, dude, like the average time we spend on the phone is like 3 minutes. If it's a higher price, like a correction coding, it's probably like 7 to 12 minutes. And then when we get there, like when they come in for the inspection, it's like a 10-minute. Like here's a spot. We talk to them, show them options. Okay, pay the deposit. We talk to them for like another 2 minutes when they drop it off. Their day of their appointment, they leave. They come back in 2 days. They pick it up. Oh my God, thank you. Here, pay. Gone. Like that's most customers. Most like 98% of the time, like super friendly. Like no problem. Like oh no, it's okay. Don't like most customers are like not a problem whatsoever. Okay, now going into the last question here, just for a compare and contrast, what are some differences like when you with your active clients? What are some differences between working with your ideal customer or client and then working with a not so ideal customer like a client? Like what are the just when you talk to Bob and you're like, oh man, like dude, you're so easy to work with. Like I like working with you, and then you talk to John over there, you're like, God, Lee, bro, like I want to get out of here. Like what's the like the difference in like the speed of the project and how they pay, how they communicate? Gotcha. Like what are the differences there?
So I'm gonna refer. So we do websites which are one-time projects. They come and go. Sometimes they turn into marketing clients, which are monthly, reoccurring projects or project. So I'm just gonna stick to the marketing ones because those are monthly. So like you can't run away from those. Those are a little bit different to manage because that's a relationship. Like when you have a client that you literally know and you talk to every month, you text, like you follow each other on Instagram. Like it's weird because it's a relationship. It's not a one and done thing. And even with website projects, those are like, I would say 6 to 8 weeks that you're working together. And then even after that, they might become a maintenance client. So every 3 months, they might reach out and say, hey, we'd like these changes. Or, hey, client called me, like they're opening an office in Miami. They're in Houston. They're opening an office in Miami, and they just start asking me questions like, so here are the 3 offices we found. What do you think is the best for us to get a Google listing? It was like an apartment, a commercial space, a regular office space, a virtual address. And I was like, talking to me? Yeah, that's cool. So that's a good relationship, right? I mean, even though the thing is weird, it's like they trust me enough to put a year contract on this thing. So ideally the client trusts you, right? Ideally your work works, right? Yeah. So like your ads work or the the postings are good or the website functions super well. So like a lot of it's on our side too, right? Like why would they trust us if we're not giving the results? But ideally, our stuff is working. And ideally, they leave us alone. Ideally, they let us know what they want to happen. We meet every month. That's 100% fine. I'm not saying like we never want to talk to clients, but like they're not hawk eyeing us, as I say. Like they're not like over our shoulder trying to figure out like what we're doing. When people start asking like how many hours do you spend on month on our account or on our website, that's like in our business, like it doesn't matter. Like what we don't keep track of that. Like as long as we're getting results, that's all we're trying to do. If we do it in 10 hours, great. If we do it in 30 hours, great. But like that's our only goal is to get your results. So that's it. They trust us. The work is working, and obviously like it's their payment goes through every month automatically.
Yeah,
we don't have to chase them down. And that's like, I mean, you can live a great life if all your clients like that, which you can do. Like I would say right now it's like 80% good and 20% bad. Like 20%, we got to chase them down every month. Yeah. That sucks.
And that, but that's literally like not.
You can't run away from
especially
it.
in the agency. Yeah, that's just, that's
it's going to happen.
A big part of like.
And even like the good clients wake up one day, hey, Cesar, we're going to cancel. It was great, but we've decided we want to do something
like
else.
Even through and through, it's like.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, easy. Well, great. And I'm a half full glass guy. Like, hey, great. If you ever need us again, don't hesitate to reach out. We've worked together for a year and a half. Like I feel like they still benefited, we still benefited. Like, it's cool. It's great. Like I'm not gonna like take down your side because So yeah, ideally you got those, and then bad is just like have to chase them down for clients, hawk-eyeing you, texting you all the time, texting you hours or emailing you, calling you hours like outside of like just like respectable time. I have a guy who always texts me like at 11 p.m. Like, what are you doing? Like email me. Like, why are you sending me texts?
Yeah,
11 p.m.
Yeah, and that actually kind of aligns to what I always say of like kind of like having the right scope of work, because like it also aligns with the bad customer, like not ideal customers, and like for me again, like not so much not ideal, but like to not do more than what was agreed upon, right? So like for instance, like if we're cleaning some wheels, and the wheels are like, let's say they haven't been cleaned in like 5 years and like they're super dirty, whatever, right? There's the brakes are pitted, whatever. And we're doing like let's just call it a wash, right? That like that service of a wash does not entail removing 5 years of like pitted brake dust off a wheel, right? So if a customer tells us, hey, by the way, are you going to be able to get the wheels better? Instead of like giving in and saying, well, yeah, we are cleaning the wheels, so we should be able to get them better. Like I say like, and I recommend everyone of like, well, no, that'd be a different service, because that's a different level. That's a different process that we're doing a different level of like effort that's used for it. So like, it's not something like a bad client, but it's like it's going back to like saying no,
right?
Of like, but like they're still they're still a good customer, like you said, a good client. Like they're still able to. So it's like it's still okay to tell a good client no, because like they have to understand that there's like a boundary.
Right.
Same thing with like the whole 11 p.m. Like. If someone texts like calls us like, you're not expecting me to pick up. Like if you give me any gripe about that, like bro, it's that no
way.
Yeah, like that's not happening, dude. Like that's not gonna happen, unless of course like we have that communication already, and like there's a understanding of like, hey, I text you late because I get out of work at whatever. Sure, like at that case perhaps, but like again, it's like drawing the line of like, I'm not gonna answer you at 11 p.m. because that's not. Why would you text me at 11 p.m.? Like I'm not. You're gonna wait till I wake up tomorrow to respond. So on that one, that's also a good point. Any other things that you want to point out with?
So with not so great or red flag clients, not paying, weird hours, hawk-eyeing, like always overview, and I would say that's it. Like that's really like, especially the like overseeing stuff. Is like you can't really work. It's like people hire for us, you too, you guys too. People hire you for. Yes, what you do and stuff, but it's like really your experience and your knowledge, your brain, right? So like, how does it make sense for you to use your brain when the person who hired you or your company is like, this is how you should do it? And that's always my go-to. Is like, look, if you want to do it, by all means, like, I will show you a YouTube video. I will send you a link. Here's the things you need, but like, let's do our job. You know?
Yeah, because they're more so like they just want you to be the hands, but they want to tell you. That's I can see that. Yeah.
And to add one more thing to that. Unfortunately, a struggling client in their own business is they're pretty hard to work with because they're on like desperation mode.
Yeah, life
They're
support.
like,
yeah,
I have 2 weeks to come up with 80 clients, or my restaurant goes out of business.
Yeah.
They went out of business.
Yeah. No.
You know, people who are like, dude, you know, I've been doing everything, you know. They're really not doing anything.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like,
Yeah.
like, dude, I was like, if you want to help, you know, create social media posts, like tag people, send DMs to everybody you know, make a Facebook post. Nah, you know, I don't want to. Like, you're just waiting on the $10 a day you spend on Google Ads. Like, it's only gonna get you so far.
Yeah, and that's the thing of like, when you're just not as a side tangent, but like, yeah, when you're in that desperation, like life support phase, like, bro, there's no good marketing that's gonna save you at this point. Like, you made that wrong turn, like way back there at that point. Like, you gotta bust a U-turn and go back to that intersection and try to fix everything.
And I would say with that, like, it's almost like, kind of what I see is like they're removing the responsibility of themselves. Like, it's your business, it's really your responsibility, and you're giving that. You can't give that part to somebody else. Like, that's,
yeah.
If
For sure.
your business is dying, that is your responsibility. Like, dude, I can't. Nobody can. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, bring 100 clients in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, like you can only like throw fuel on the fire, but like there has to be some fire
Yes.
going in the
A
first
spark,
place
something.
in order for it to be going. Yeah, like, you
like,
can't
dude,
have it.
there's
Yeah,
no wood.
Because at that point, like
stuff.
Yeah, like with a dying business, with no customers, no revenue, and like you're just throwing a Hail Mary, like, please help me. It's like,
Even if you catch it, you still gotta
yeah,
run.
Yeah, like it's too far gone. Like
Yeah.
you don't have the resources or anything in place to like actually make something, you know, bring it to life from that.
Yeah.
Because again, like that's more on the owner. Like that, you gotta like get this thing going first, and then you can get some, you know. But yeah, at that point, it's like it's wishful thinking of like, hey, so marketing, right? It's like, bro, like it's. You got a lot of other things that you got to solve before you think about, you know,
and
like a
keep
lot of
looking
things.
at the analytics, like, hey, why didn't they convert?
Yeah, and then
here?
at that
It's
point,
like,
it's like every single thing that happened is like, hey man, like I saw that someone clicked, but they didn't call me, like, you know,
Right.
And it's like, yeah, you got 2 clicks yesterday. Like one of those were probably you, like that, you know, like it's a very, because I see that all the time with like detailers, like not agencies, but it's like detailers who like are in that mindset or like in that phase. It's like, dude, like you got to go back to the grassroots of marketing of like you said, like start DMing people, ask for us, ask for like word of mouth, ask for, you know, throwing five.
that is the start.
Yeah.
And the end almost. Like, if you're there, like, you got to do what you got to do.
Like if you, like we're like spending $50 this week on ads, bro. It's not gonna bring you this.
And even if you do, okay, you get one new client, you make X amount, like, you have to do it again.
Yeah,
and again,
yeah,
and
yeah,
again,
yeah,
and again,
yeah.
and again and again. Like, it's not. You can get out of that, obviously, but yeah, that being in that situation is like.
Yeah.
You take this way more seriously than I do, sir. Like,
Yeah.
you know, we're only getting paid X amount to worry about
Yeah.
this
Well,
little thing. We can't worry about like your entire life. Like,
Yeah.
we're not absorbing that problem. We're just absorbing getting you clients via the platform.
Okay, sounds good. I think we'll wrap it up right there.
Cool beans.
That's good. All right.
Yeah, good.
Thank you again, Cesar, for coming on. I'll have his
Anytime.
stuff in the link down below. Symphony Advertising. All right, thank you, everyone. If you want to download the ultimate guide to start your detailing business, you want to check out Jobber and get a free 14-day trial plus 20% off your first 6 months. Or any other links will be in the description box. Or if you're listening to this audio only, check the show notes and they'll be linked there as well. Thank you very much, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Later.
Bye-bye.